Hi, I'm Bart Hanson, the owner and operator of CrushLivePoker.com. The following hand comes from our call-in show that we record at 4:45 p.m. Pacific Time every Monday. If you want to call in your hand, check out the phone number in the description.
Under the gun opens to 35, younger white guy. Gets two callers in late position, and I'm in the big blind with Jack of Hearts, 10 of Diamonds.
Okay.
I decide to call. I don't know, that might be a little loose, but
No, I think that's fine. You're going to be getting a really good price, maybe like 5-1. I would call.
right.
I do a lot of completing for the
Anyway,
big blind. So yeah, you make the call with Jack 10 offsuit.
the flop comes out, so it's four ways, and I'm first to act. The flop comes out, King of Diamonds, Jack of Spades, 10 of Hearts.
Okay.
I checks around.
So you flop bottom two, right? You
Right.
check and
Four to go.
everybody basically checks it through. And I think that that's fine. To be perfectly honest with you, I probably would just sort of check call depending on who was doing a lot of the betting. I think if the pre-flop raiser bets, check raise is probably a little bit of an overplay here if he's going to bet like ace, king, and possibly fold or aces. So I would probably play this a little bit passively if someone had bet, but you say it gets checked through.
Right.
Okay.
The turn is the ace of hearts, so it puts out a hard draw.
So one liner to a queen now too, right?
Right.
Yep.
One liner to a queen and a hard draw.
Yep.
I decide to bet. I don't know if that makes sense here. I think I could get called by a flush draw or an ace that didn't bet the flop for some reason. I'm not sure. There's
Yeah, I don't think
be a
so.
lot of aces,
I don't think that makes a whole lot of sense, to be perfectly honest with you. The only reason why I would even consider betting here on the turn is because you were going to run a double barrel bluff and you thought you were going to get somebody else off of like a bet or two pair because you thought that a fair amount of people would bet a queen on the flop, so no one has a queen. So now when the ace comes out, you can represent it. But as far as betting for value, no, I think that's way too much of a stretch. Who's going to call? Somebody's going to call you with like ace nine, ace eight. By the way, those are the only aces that you beat after the flop gets checked through. That's, I think, a very big stretch. And most likely, everyone's either going to fold or someone, when they call you, you're obviously never going to be good. So I would check most of the time here. And of the small times that I bet, it would be trying to run some sort of double barrel bluff. So.
Right. In hindsight, I thought it was probably too thin, just the flush draw coming out, and I thought, well, what does anybody have here that they checked on the flop? Maybe, but I think you're probably right. It's too thin. I bet 65, about half pot. The pre-flop raiser calls, and the other callers fold.
So this is exactly what I'm talking about here. We have a little bit more of a clue to the pre-flop raiser's range because he raised under the gun. What do you think he could? So what is he calling you with here on the turn?
Well, I was a little confused with what hand he's calling with that didn't bet the flop. I guess obviously a queen. I'm not sure what queen he would have that didn't bet. Maybe queen jack. I guess there's a chance that he's slow playing something. I don't see really why he would check kings or jacks.
I don't think he's checking kings or jacks, but I think he might at 5-10 check ace king, pocket aces some of the time. A lot of times too, if he does have a queen in his hand, like pocket queens, he's probably not going to raise you on the turn. My point here is that unless somehow he has a absolute dry flush draw in hearts, which he shouldn't really call here because he's got two guys behind him, you never have the best hand here. He's not going to call with like ace nine and with two people behind him. He's not going to call with 7-8 of hearts, I don't think, with two people behind him. So you just don't have the best hand here ever, really, in this scenario. So I'm not exactly sure what's going to come out on the river, but just know that going in. Of course, obviously if you catch a jack or a 10, you could fill. But all right, so what's the river?
The river is a 10 of spades.
Okay.
and the pot's 270. I bet out 185.
I would probably bet out like 250. I would probably bet out probably a pot size bet here, and
Okay.
get called hopefully by a queen, or ace king, something like that, where the guy gets confused because it looks like you should be scared of a full house a little bit when you bet the turn. Little does he know that you were actually betting bottom two. So I would probably choose a
Right.
little bit of a larger sizing here. Now, it's interesting because you're not all that deep. If you were to bet like
Hmm.
270, you'd only have about 500 left. Here, you said you bet 180. So hero bets 180. And then what happened? Did you get shoved on here or something?
Right. He thought for a little bit and he moved all in.
So, I mean, I sort of revert back to, especially if this guy's a regular and he sees you playing up. He has to, I mean, what does
I've
he
never
have?
seen him before. If that
Okay.
makes any difference, it's not
Yeah.
someone I've seen play before.
This is most likely
So
going to be pocket aces or eight, or, oh, you said it was a 10 or a jack on the river?
it was a 10.
Yeah, it's going to be most likely pocket
Okay.
aces or ace 10. Um, I just, he has to have something to call you on the turn. So, like I said,
Right.
the issue here is that unless he's turning a queen into a bluff, which I just don't think he would do, I think he would just call, then I can't really construct that much of a bluffing range here for him on the river. Um, I mean, you're certainly going to be getting pretty good pot odds. I mean, you bet 180 into a pot of what is maybe 140. What is that? 270, 450, 630, and you've got maybe 600 left. So you're going to be getting over 2 to 1 here.
Right.
I think it's probably pretty close, but I do think you're beat. And there are certainly people that I would fold this to. Like I said,
Right.
I don't see enough players turn what is a relatively strong hand into a bluff here on the river, and it's just a strong hand into a bluff would be a queen or a hand like ace jack trying to use like some sort of crazy blockers or ace king. Um, I don't usually see that. People will usually fold. They will just err towards folding ace king as opposed to turning it into a bluff against a guy that started with 900. I mean, that's sort of my
Right.
opinion. Yeah.
The other thing I thought of when on the river is, when I bet the turn in hindsight, my hand looks sort of like a queen, and I thought that there's a possibility that he could try to be getting me off a chop if he thinks I have a queen. But I don't know if he would necessarily try to do that at this level.
I mean, yeah, I mean it's possible. Like I said, I actually like a little bit of larger of a bet sizing anyways because although you would get a better price, but a lot of times if I run into some sort of hidden nut hand here too, and I had bet say 270 instead of 180, it's even less likely that any of that stuff's going to go down. With him trying to raise you off of the same hand or somehow bluffing. But it looks like you're getting about 2 to 1. I would say you're probably not good here 1 out of 3 times. So what did you do? What ended up
Right.
happening?
I ended up calling. I was a little confused about what hand he was checking on the flop, and I thought probably I'm mostly losing to ace ten suited, which there's one combo, or maybe aces. I wasn't sure if he would check aces, but that's what he ended up having. He had pocket aces.
He had pocket aces.
Yes, he had pocket aces.
Yeah. Okay. Well, interesting hand. Thanks for the call.
Yep. Thanks, Bart.
All right, take it easy. Hey guys, if you like what you've seen here, please click on the subscribe button and you'll get notified every time we put up a new video. And if you want to check out crushlivepoker.com for the first month free, use the code YTA100. Click on the link right there.